Good afternoon and welcome back again, Realty Pros. We are excited for another week of Porterhouse Realty Talks, and we have a dynamic bunch on the line with us today. So far, as people are joining, I just want to give you guys a shout out because we have a treat in store. We have Anita Bowie, who is going to be teaching us today on prospecting for buyers. So I know she has a lot of great things in store. So I just wanted to give you guys a shout out and say welcome and thank you for carving out the time to join us today. Welcome Dee, Maggie, Kermon, Stasia, Mr. Porter, Anita, and everybody else who's attempting to join now. Just wanted to say hello really quickly, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to Anita. Welcome, Anita.
Wow, thank you so kindly. And thank you all for allowing me just to have a couple minutes, and prayerfully I'll be able to pass on some information that can be beneficial to everyone. But first off, I definitely have to. So too bad everyone wasn't in on the pre Realty Talk pep talk by Mr. Porter, and how he was saying, which was very encouraging, and it really is about just facing your fears. And even in this situation and in this whole realty talk, it kind of ties in for sure with what he was saying, and getting out there, putting yourself out there. And, a failure is not really, it's not a negative thing. It's just an opportunity to try something again or try something new. So we just I appreciate that. I appreciate that pre-game pep talk that Mr. Porter gave us. He didn't even know he was giving a pre-game pep talk. So, so today, as Ms. Porter had mentioned, we're talking about prospecting for buyers. And actually, this is kind of a good time for me because just based on some of the activity that I've been doing lately, as far as like the Home Buyers Expo and the and open houses, it has been, it kind of comes together with the whole prospecting idea. And so something that I was thinking about, I was like, okay, Lord, so now how am I going to do this? How am I going to share this? And something that I thought about was, I was like, okay, because we think about prospecting and we think about, okay, so we know who we know, and those people may and or may not be ready to purchase. We've talked to them, but I looked at it in even I guess more in another way, I guess I'll say, in the sense that I thought about, okay, so there's like three groups of buyers that we can expose ourselves to. And I'm sure there's more than that, but I kind of put this in three groups. And so the first group of buyers is something that Mr. and Ms. Porter always encourage us to go back to, and that's our sphere of influences or influence. They always are encouraging us to, be in contact with these people, reach out to these people. And our sphere are people that we know already, that we have some type of a relationship with. And so that could be, your siblings, your cousins, aunties, uncles, it can be the people that you go to church with, how we are. We are people who all pretty much follow a habit. So we always sit in the same place, pretty much the same section, pretty much almost even the same seat every Sunday. And you sit next to that person and you talk about everything, and you never mention the fact that you are a real estate agent. You may even have that. You may have even shared contact information with the person, but the person still does not know that you're a real estate agent. Things that maybe you volunteer at school or some type of volunteer organization, or maybe there is, some type of a group that you're a part of, a sorority or something like that. And so it's about, those people are very good buyer potentials. But again, it's your responsibility to make sure that they know who you are and the service that you provide for them. And so, that's about taking out your phone, and making those phone calls, making those connections, checking in on people, and always reminding them that you are a real estate professional and that you're always looking for new clients that you can serve. And then also another thing, of course, is you have their contact information. So you have at least their telephone number and their name. And then you want to update your contact information. You want to reach out to those people, and you want to get at least their email information, okay? Because you want to be able to add those to those different places that allow you to then do another touch for them. You want to add it to your constant contact. You want to add it to your boomtown, because you can set up campaigns in both constant contact and boomtown so that you're reaching people at times where you're not physically next to them and you're not actually speaking with them one-on-one, but they still are being reminded of you. And these people here, they know you, they trust you, they love you, so why wouldn't they refer business to you? But the only reason why they don't is because although they know you, they trust you, and they love you, they don't realize that you are a real estate professional. And so you just need to make sure that you're in their presence and that you are communicating with them, and that you are excited about being able to share what you do with them, share that service with them. So I thought about, okay, those are good people, those are good buyers. And then I thought, okay, so then the next group of people, you may not know personally, but you already have that sphere, those people. But those people know people that know your sphere. Okay, so you need to, when you are speaking with your sphere, make sure not only are you gathering their information, but you're asking them, hey, who do you know that is has even mentioned? So they may say, well, this person, they said in 2 years from now, I'll be purchasing. Well, you need to have that person's contact information, so you need to ask them, to share that information with you so that you can then build a relationship with the person that knows the person. Okay. And you want to then, once you make contact with them, and they may say the same thing, oh, well, I'm looking at, but I don't want to even, I have this that I have to take care of or whatever, and probably this time next year. Okay, well, that's wonderful, but let me add your contact information so that I'm able to keep in contact with you, send you information from time to time. And by the way, I would love for you to speak with our lender because they will look at where you are now. And if there's anything that needs to be addressed, we can go ahead and we can start working on those things now, so that in a year from now, when you are ready, then there won't be anything that will be able to hold us back. Okay. And then the third group of buyers are people that you have never met before. You don't know them at all. You've never talked to them, but those are buyers as well. And where do you meet those people? How do you touch those people? How are you able to communicate with those people? You can do that in several different ways. It could be through your social media. It can be maybe perhaps you going to an event, a community event, you know, that they're having, go out there with your fistful of business cards and, you know, meet people and share your information with them. And actually, really, I don't even necessarily like to give, I would prefer, well, I'll say this, I'll prefer to send my electronic business card versus giving you the paper card, because that gives you the reason to get their contact information. You know, when you give the paper card, which is fine, then they may say to you, oh, well, I'll call you, you know. Whereas when you say, oh, well, hey, let me get your contact information and I will I'll text you my business card, then that way, at least you have their contact information. Okay, so you meet those people, you know, as I said, through social media, through community events. I mean, you're in the Costco. I know everyone goes to Costco. And so meet them in Costco. You maybe meet them, or you can also go through Bright, and you can find buyers through Bright as well. So, okay, we have that, and we have our 3 categories of people. And so we're stepping up things as far as the our sphere of influence is concerned. We're going ahead and we're going to be diligent about being in contact with them so that we can serve them so they'll know that we're available and that we can serve them when they are prepared to purchase. Then now we've taken it a step further, because now that they know that we're an agent, and because we have been in communication with them via the campaigns, the text, the calling, they now are referring the people that they know to us. Okay. Then the next thing is we're going to be in contact with those people who we've never met before, but we want the opportunity to meet them. And so that's where we're going to start. I want to make sure, because I wrote myself some notes and I don't want to miss anything. So let me ask you guys this. So does anyone have another idea of maybe another group of people and or opportunity for maybe meeting buyers? If you do, unmute yourself and please share with us what your thoughts are.
Did we mention apartment complexes?
Well, we did not mention apartment complexes, Darlene. And so, but I kind of put those into the category of those people that we have never met before. But we want to meet them. And apartment complexes can be a little bit more challenging because maybe you don't have all the access that you would want, but that does not stop you from doing like mailers to them. But you may not have the opportunity to actually, you know, go and knock on their door. The apartment complex itself may not allow you to do that. But yeah, so there are apartment complexes that you can, you know, can definitely, those people are renting, and so they need a home. Is there anyone else, any other ideas of people, groups of people who may be looking to purchase or don't even know, because they may not even know? Someone said, Dee said at a friends event, get to know friends of friends, just, let me see, what did she say? Just enhancing on, what I said earlier. Yeah, get to know friends of friends. Okay, so I was going to share, because what I want to look at now is just speaking more on those people who we don't necessarily know, we've never met before. And so we want to kind of maybe look a little bit closer at those people. And so just as I said, as far as the prospecting, to your, as a recap of, prospecting to your sphere of influences, talking to everyone, everywhere you go, talking to people everywhere you go, to the store, the gas station, bank, schools, church, etc. Setting up your constant contact, all about giving calls and or texts, make sure that also too, that you have, you're branding yourself. Make sure that your communications, for my voicemail, I have, which I'm sure everyone has, a Google Voice, as well as just your regular cell phone number. And whether it is my personal and or Google Voice business number, I still, my message still identifies me as a real estate agent. So because I don't know if they're going to be calling on my personal line, because these are people that I know, that we've, sat by each other in church and we've exchanged contact information, or if it's someone that I may have maybe have not met yet, but they are reaching out to me because maybe a mailer that I sent them or something. So an iPhone raised their hand, and I don't know who that is, but you can unmute yourself.
That's me. That's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm driving, so I couldn't rename it. But
Okay.
The other way to get in front of buyers, I don't know who else does it, but I don't care if I'm going to Food Lion. I have on either my real estate badge or a shirt or something that says I'm a real estate agent. Because I mean, if you go out your house and you have nothing on that says you're a real estate agent, how can they, pick you out of the bunch? So to me, I wear that all the time. Something Porterhouse I have on.
Absolutely. That's a great idea too, Darlene. Yeah. I mean, at the very minimum, and I have to say that I am not as diligent about doing that as I should be, but that's a great idea as well. Always. I mean, you could at the very least have your badge on, So thank you, Darlene. That's a great idea. Okay, so then we are talking about cold calling, cold buyer prospecting. Okay, and so some of the ideas, as I had mentioned before, was like I messed up. The social media, TikTok is a big thing nowadays, and I don't know that we use that, but we definitely, that along with our Facebook, our Instagram, and YouTube, make sure that you're exposing yourself in those ways. Facebook Live, Darlene encouraged me to get on Facebook Live. And, even if you don't have anything to share at the time, you can always go to a new build. You can go to a model, and you can just go Facebook, go on live, there, and invite people always, because the porters have afforded us the opportunity to have our websites. So make sure that you always invite people to check out your website, invite them to go on your website, because really, once they do that, if they're curious enough to go onto your website, then they're going to register, and also your contact information is there. And so, and then that way you'll be able to, once they've registered, you'll be able to reach out to them. So they may be saying, oh, well, I was just looking, but there's something that draws a person to that, So make sure you do that. Again, passing out your business card, because these people you don't know, but you can do that. You could do home snap ads. You can invite, if you have an open house, be intentional about who you invite to the open house, maybe lunch or light refreshments before the actual open house, because you can target those people who are renters in the area where your open house is. And so that kind of is effective in multiple ways, because you're inviting the neighbors, which may be homeowners, but they may know someone who is interested in purchasing. And then you're also invited the renter neighbors who perhaps they are interested in that home, and or maybe they're not. But at the point when they come to your open house, they're signing in. So you have their contact information. You're able to reach out to them, and you're able to follow up with them and say, okay, well, I appreciate so much you coming to the open house. I appreciate your feedback on the house. And I see, that you aren't working with an agent. I see that you are interested in purchasing, and then that opens up a conversation, or they might not even know that they're interested in purchasing, but then that gives you opportunity to open up conversation to find out where they are, and how you're able to then encourage them to move forward. Okay. So also, as I mentioned before, the direct mailers, the door knocking, are very effective ways. And I'll tell you something that I wish that I had done, and I'll have this opportunity again, but when I was hosting an open house, I wish I would have thought about, okay, well, let's see how many renters are in the area of this house that I'm hosting this open house for, because I need to get in contact with these people. I need to, whether they purchase this house or another house, that part doesn't necessarily matter to me. But I need to be the agent for them for whichever house they decide that they're going to purchase. Okay. Any questions, or are there any other ideas that anyone can share with us, or comments at this time?
Yeah, hi, Ms. Nita.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Kraman.
Hi. I'm in the office, so I hope I'm not giving a lot of feedback. But I just wanted to kind of say there's a couple of things that I have found that we run into a lot of people that sometimes we may not think about right away as being someone we need to reach out to. One of the things I have been doing was I've reached out to my mailman. Okay, I reached out to the people who collect the trash and collect the the plastic bottles and stuff that we have to do. So you might want to start. There's a lot of people that we can reach out to that we may not automatically think about. But here's what we know about them. We know they have a job. Okay, so we know that's the first thing when you're trying to, especially for a buyer, they have to be employed. So that's one of the things that you know right away. And also when you're reaching out to people like postal people or whatnot, you let them know, hey, listen, you've heard about teachers next door. You've heard about police next door. How about if we do something for mail professionals next door, or people that's in the post office? Do you guys have a time when maybe y'all meet at lunch, or not, maybe come in and share some information with a few of you? So what we're doing is we're thinking out of the box. One of the things that we have in Bowie, we have Bowie Day up at Allen Pond. So people come up, you can, share information, you can pass out cards. And one of the things that Ms. Anita was saying about the passing out of the cards that Mr. Porter shared with me is when you're passing out the cards, you definitely want to have a good lead way to capture their information. So it's not just, I'm just giving out cards all willy-nilly all over the place, which is what I did when I first started. Now I'm a little bit more, I have a little bit more of a way to capture the information of the people, even if, and people love giving you their email. If you tell them, listen, I just want to keep you updated what's going on in this market, they will give you their email information. It works very well when if I'm a guy, I'm talking to ladies, they don't want to give me their phone number. Of course, I understand. So, but their email information or having my card, my email, and we can just stay in touch. They don't feel like you're going to inundate them with a lot of information, but people just want to know what's going on with this market. You hear about interest rates going up, you hear about them coming down. What's the real skinny? So that's something that we can make sure that we do. If you go into a building and there's a security guard, okay, you know they have a job. So just little people that sometimes we might just walk past, you might want to stop and just kind of, engage them for a moment, talk about something. Right now we talk about the weather. Hey, it's crazy down there in Florida. Hope it doesn't come up this way. I know a lot of people that have property down in Florida. By the way, I'm a real estate agent. So just wanted to kind of put that out, that we can talk to people that we may not always think about talking to.
Absolutely. That's a very good point, Kraman. Yeah. Don't discount anyone, because you just don't know, what people's, what their potential is. And so, that person who may not have a job that's making six figures, but they're making enough that they qualify for a condo, so that's their first home. And also don't even discount the people who don't have a job, because you don't know, they could have other resources, legal resources for their income. They could be retired or, disabled or whatever, but they have an income that would support a mortgage. And what we know is these people, they're paying a mortgage somewhere, and as Mr. Porter says, the renters, they're paying a mortgage. They're paying a mortgage for someone else, and all it gets them is 30 days, And so we want to really, just help, because it may not have even been put as simple as that to someone. Like, you're paying a mortgage, and that mortgage that you're paying only allows you 30 days, and for what you are paying, you could actually be purchasing your own, you could be investing in your own property. And so we don't want to discount anyone. I see Angela has her hand raised.
Yes. Hi. I think these are some actually really great, the input that you guys provided. I was going to comment on those, but you guys beat me to it. But just to piggyback a little bit on some of that input, well, like Darlene said, I think it's the whole don't be a secret agent. And there's so many opportunities for us to, not have to apologize for being an agent. Wear your shirt, wear your hat, wear your pin, and wear wherever you go. So, we frequent the grocery store, but I would say be more personable with people. When you go to the same grocery store and you have that same cashier, build relationships with them, say hello. A lot of the times when we're wearing these masks, we don't say hello because our mouths are covered, but, you can still, make eye contact, speak to people as you walk past them. It'll get their attention as well that you've got a big, I'm a realtor t-shirt on, but, I would definitely say build those relationships and don't be that secret agent, like kids sporting events, or if you go to like a niece or nephew's concert, sometimes people are looking, to talk about real estate, or, hey, I had this agent who didn't do a great job for me. I'm thinking about selling my house on my own. So, don't be secret. And then the other thing was to kind of piggyback on the renter situation. It can be a little challenging when you're working with renters. However, I would just say, make sure that you ask when you're working with clients, both before, during, and after your transaction, ask them for referrals. And I believe it's in our presentation. When we do the listing intake form, it's ask them, do you know anybody else who I could basically, assist? You ask them before, you remind them during, do you know anyone? And then right when you close, you ask them again. You'd be surprised because you've given them this exceptional service, great experience. And, they remember you kept asking, and they do think about that sometimes. But now that their transaction is over, you know, don't feel uncomfortable asking that multiple times. It's all in how you ask it. Is there anyone else I can help? And I think that you'd be surprised at how many referrals you get with a renter. And I'll say one more thing and I'll finish. But I work with a renter and they couldn't afford much. So it was discouraging for them, somewhat for me as well. But the reason she was moving and looking for a rental spot is because she had been, since COVID, she had been staying with family. She was looking for a place because her mom was getting ready to sell her home and she had to find a place first. So asking those questions, you know, is very important to generate more business for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Angela, for sure.
Listen, Nisa, before you go any
Mhm.
further, I really got to jump. You guys are on point. I just want to remind you of a few things. One, for those of us who have iPhones, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I love airdropping when I'm waiting in line. People look around, you wave at them, they look at your card, they give you thumbs up, and then sometimes they say, "How did you know I was looking for a real estate agent?" That's a wonderful experience, by the way, if you haven't had it. It happened to me twice in Costco in the last month. Two sellers, two people that have to sell their homes. Then also, we talked about renters. There's a wonderful script in Brokerment in your library under working with renters called working with buyers called Converting Renters into Buyers. When you learn how to have that conversation with people who are renting and they know their credit score and they know what they're doing, you know, they know their income, they have a steady income and they have a little bit of money, you say, the first thing it says, did you know that your credit score is a buyer's credit score? That right there catches them off guard. Now they want to have a further conversation. Did you know that when it's time for you to move, you can actually purchase a house in the same amount of time it's going to take you to find something to rent? And did you also know that essentially if you want to put down the last month of security deposit for a little bit more, you can be a homeowner? You know, all of those did you knows to a renter. We had a competition back when we were the Port Home team of who could convert the most renters into buyers. And we only did that when we did it anytime we got a person calling asking for a rental. But if you ever get a rental listing, that's a wonderful time to convert those renters into buyers. I would love to rent this home to you, but what's your credit score? Do you know your credit score? Yeah, my credit score is a 680. Oh, wow. And you're looking to rent? Did you know that's above a buyer's credit score? Really? No, I didn't know that. Tell me more. So those things are essential. Just having those things in repertoire. The other thing I was going to say is I've gotten a gaggle of clients just from ear hustling. I hear the word real estate. I hear the property sales. Are you real estate agents? No. I'm sorry. I overheard your conversation. I get excited when I meet other professionals. But I am a licensed real estate agent, and I kind of heard your conversation. People are not offended. I've never had anybody that was offended. That's just me. It's just the way you segue into things. And I intentionally do it. I'm sitting around, walking around, I'm listening. People have conversations about real estate, they just start talking. And I nicely insert myself into that wonderful conversation, and I'll come away with leads and follow-ups and et cetera. And the last thing I was going to comment on, and I know people don't think about it this way, but I certainly do, is homeowners can also be buyers. And I love it when people say, well, you know, do you own your own home? Yes, I do. Oh, that's wonderful. How long have you been living in there? Oh, well, I moved there about 4 years ago. Well, congratulations. I mean, it's still a wonderful thing. How do you like being a homeowner? I love being a homeowner. I said, well, how does what else do you have in your real estate portfolio? That's the question. Let them talk. Well, I really, I haven't thought. And have you thought about investment properties? Well, I wouldn't know how to do that. Well, I would love to talk to you about it. And Nisa, I love what you said, because you know what I haven't, Kermon said something about ladies not giving me a telephone. I've not had one person, male or female, not give me their number when I wanted to send them an e-card. So that's a great strategy to get the contact information, is to say, hey, let me send you my e-card. I have my hard cards, I left them in my vehicle. Let me send you my e-card. Bam. Every time I get the information, I follow up with them. I put them into Boomtown on a drip, and I do a follow-up, tell it to remind me to call this person and what they're talking about. I'm putting all the information in the comment section of the Boomtown so that I can follow up with those people. So that's all I wanted to say, because you guys are having a wonderful conversation. I just wanted to jump in here and just throw those strategies that I'm using.
Yes, thank you. So Mr. Porter, actually, he touched on a couple
I wanted
things
to ask him a question.
Mhm.
I had my hand up. What did he say about the iPhone? That's what I didn't hear that part, because his phone broke up.
I said whenever I'm in a crowded environment, it could be at a concert, it could be waiting in line at Costco, it could be anywhere. I start airdropping. Anybody who has their phone open, I'm airdropping them my business card.
Oh, yeah, that's smart. Okay. Do that. Oh.
Darlene. Okay, so Darlene she gonna be airdropping everybody. She seemed very excited about that. Thank you, Mr. Porter, and thank you, Darlene. And like as I was saying, Mr. Porter had hit on a couple of things that I was going to mention as well. And that's going into Brokerment. I was going to direct you all to go into Brokerment. And look at that information for renters. And there is one that is actually, it says converting renters to buyer. There's a script there. Ooh, apologize for that. And so you can take a look at that. And then also, homeowners can purchase, so that is something else. And even, and I don't think we'll have time today, but you could use that converting renters to buyers script on those people that perhaps, well, on all groups of people, but also I was thinking more specifically on those people that you're going to find through Bright, those renters that you're going to find through Bright. And I guess we'll have to talk about that another time. But also, I know that Dee had her hand up, and I wanted to give her an opportunity. And then, well, actually, before Dee mentions that, also too, something else that we can do is, make relationship with people who have a access to a group of people that can refer you, such as like maybe a bridal shop, or maybe HR person. That's a great person to know. I mean, these people, lenders, accountants, the accountant sees them at least once a year, and, kind of think about those people and make sure that you let them know that you're here, you're available, you're eager to serve. I mean, there are several different, so not just the individual themselves, but the individual who could perhaps connect you to several different buyers, because that's the type of job that they do, where they come in contact with a lot of potential buyers. Okay.
Mortuary people.
Mortuary
people. Divorce attorneys. Probate
Yes.
attorneys.
Yes, there's just, so you know what I think we need to do? We need to just begin to think outside the box, and don't continue to do just what you've been doing. Continue to do what you've been doing, but don't continue to do just what you've been doing. But think about some other ways that you can connect with buyers. Okay, I apologize. And Dee, you had your hand up. And if you're on mute, okay.
Yes. So my hand was up originally because you had briefly mentioned that folks don't necessarily have to have a job to get a home. And I was talking with a lender yesterday, and they were saying that, with the gig economy, of course you have to be qualified, but with folks who are working 2 and 3 jobs, they can get qualified as well if their income is steady and they actually can prove that they're really getting this, and they've been working in certain areas for an amount of time that sort of makes up for not having a full-time job. It is done on a case-by-case basis, but I have heard from a couple of lenders that it's possible. So that was one thing. The other thing was that you were talking about getting in touch with people who have access to people. And I did this by doing what I had been taught, which was plant, seed, and harvest. And I kept working through my network until I came up with someone who is always working with people. And I have a steady source of referral from that person at this point. And that's why I'm doing as well as I am this year. It has encouraged me to find other folks like that. And thank you so much for giving us the different suggestions that we have. Mr. Porter, the mortuary person, and Miss Anitha talking about accountants and others. But so that gives me other ideas of folks to be in touch with. The probate attorneys. Yes, that's one that's come up over and over again. But plant, seed, and harvest, sometimes just by doing that and going through your sphere of influence and all of that, those things will come up. But pay a particular attention to folks like that who do come through your sphere, because that can really be very productive for you, can really make you more productive. So those were the 2 things that I had that came across my mind when I was listening to you all. And then I do want to encourage you, Miss Anitha, though you're saying we don't have time today, to talk with us about how we can do what is, I don't remember if it's called reverse prospecting through Bright, through the MLS. I think that's what you were saying earlier. I would really like to know a little bit more about that one. And I'm still looking forward to the next time we have tips from the MLS, so that we can do things that, to help us with the driving radius, for instance, because all of those things are available through our Bright, the driving, the marketing, all of those things. Of course, we can get them from doing the training on Bright, but we can also get them, or at least a beginning, just by listening to what you all have accomplished doing these things through the tools that we have. Thank you very much, always.
Thank you, Dee.
And Ms. Anitha, just real quick to address something that Dee said. I know it's an awkward situation, but we go to a lot of funerals, and we've been through a lot in the last couple of years and everything going on. But you don't have to be an elaborate conversation. Is thank you for the services that your company has rendered to my family member. Just wanted to know, who do you refer families to and who have homes to sell in their time of need? And they might say, well, we don't. Well, I would let me introduce myself. You know what I'm saying? That's the segue to the conversation. We understand this is a tough situation, and people are going to sometimes people really do not know what to do. The loved one that passed on might have taken care of everything, and now they might be considering what to do with the property and the assets, and we would like to help them out in their time of need. Could you just have them call me? I'm going to leave a few of my business cards with you. It's that simple.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just have to look at, recognize an opportunity, and even where it seems that there's no opportunity, I'm positive Mr. Porter will find a way to make it an opportunity. So think about that as well. It looks like there's no opportunity, but let me see, how can I make this an opportunity? in a way, because what we're doing, we're not pushing ourselves on people, but we are providing them with a service. And these are the service is a service that is needed. You know, I mean, everyone needs a place to live. And so why not be that service provider for them? You know?
And one of the other things, Anita, is even if you don't feel comfortable, and I don't know why anybody at Porterhouse would not feel comfortable because we're all realty pros, but even if you say, well, listen, let me leave you my cards. I have a wonderful probate attorney that I could recommend. That's it. They're still going to call you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't quite get through the whole presentation, but that's okay, because this has been a lot of, I appreciate so much all the input, all the ideas. I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, and I know Dee, you wanted us to, and we can do that another time because it's a fairly, you know, simple process and fairly inexpensive, you know, to reach out to renters. So we'll have to do that in another training, if that's okay. Oops, I keep going. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Porter and see if she has anything. I'm sure she has something to add. And we'll move forward.
Excellent job, Anita. First of all, I want to say kudos to you for all that you shared. A lot of it may have been new to some of the Realty Pros online, and some of it's going to be a great refresher because this is information that we need to keep top of mind. As Mr. Porter always says, anybody with a pulse is a lead. As Anita reiterated very well, everybody needs some place to live. So whether they are an aspiring homeowner, whether they're a renter who has no idea that they have a credit score of a homeowner, or whether they're a homeowner who is going to be looking to move within the next year or two, every single person needs a place to live. So I'm excited that we're kind of further dissecting our sphere of influence and all the people that you have access to on a daily basis. And I want to encourage you guys to increase at, just like we did at the beginning of this year, and we do the beginning of every year, your goal should be on a weekly and a daily basis to increase your pool of people that you have direct contact information for. So adding the people that are in your sphere of influence to your book of business, because I dare say that for most of us, we probably only have a fraction of all of the people that we come in contact with actually in our cell phones. Like Anita said, whether it's people in church that you see all the time, or the people in the grocery store, the people in the Starbucks, the gas station attendant, building those relationships with people and being intentional about having conversations with people every single place that we go. Being intentional, I'm going to say that again, being intentional about starting conversations with people everywhere that we go and letting them know that we are real estate professionals and giving them our contact information. I love how Anita shared that we're going to send it to them electronically so that you already have their cell phone number or their email address, and you just complete that contact. So these are some timeless tools and gems that were shared here today, guys. My prayer is that you'll take these and run with it. These things don't cost you anything. And I can assure you that if you do them diligently, like we're instructing you to, you will see a harvest that you will need help to reap. It takes diligence over time. So seed, time, and harvest. So no matter what you've done in the past, pick it back up or start doing it now, or do more. Like Anita said, don't do, just what you've been doing, but, keep anything that you've been doing that is working and add these elements to it. That's all I have to say in closing. Tremendous job, Anita, and great job for all of your contributions, everybody. If anybody has any last thoughts that would be beneficial to include in the recording, then you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording for today. All right.